Alright, so this is only the second time we've done this before. Welcome to another exciting episode of the Neville Goddard podcast. My name is Mr. 2020, and today you're getting not one but two intros to this cool little recording, because today we're going to talk about money, truth, and facts. Because it's the truth about you that sets you free. It's the facts of the world that have you in slavery. And money is probably the most powerful area to explore this in, because people, they'll tell you facts about money, and they'll accept them as truth, and then they'll suffer. But on the other hand, when you get the truth about you that sets you free, you get why we share money is speed. And you get why we imagine about money like we do. You're going to hear a special little offer for $7, and we're going to invite you to buy the pearl in some new ways. That's it. Have a lovely day. Let's dive in. Thanks for listening, and hey, thanks for your shares. We really appreciate that. When we see you guys sharing what we do, that's just inspirational for me. See ya. All right. God, this is so good, because intensity of imagination is an area where a lot of people get stuck. They try to imagine something more and more and more intense, like an emotion. And I want you to remember that it's not emotions that matter. It's feeling that matters. My name is Mr. 2020, and I want to welcome you to another exciting episode of the Neville Goddard podcast. Let's dive in. The feeling that matters isn't emotions. Emotions happen. Emotions come from the feeling that matters. So do thoughts. What matters is, what do you feel is true? What do you feel is true about men? What do you feel is true about women? They're going to determine all kinds of stuff about your relationships. What do you feel true is about money? What do you think about? What do you feel is true about business? What do you feel is true about me? What do you feel is true about you? See, some people feel that there are victims in the world, and they experience victimhood. I don't got a better way to put it. You see, I was born 3 months early. I can tell you exactly why. I had some really shit experiences in my childhood. I can tell you exactly why. This ain't my first rodeo. It's not your first rodeo either. We get to play all the parts, Neville Goddard says. In other words, you came here with momentum. Why do you think some people were born into rich families? Some people were born into poor. Some people were born into families that are very loving. Some people were born into families that are like, what the fudge is this? Whoa. And it doesn't mean you did something bad. See, that's another thing people bump into, because when we explore one cause, a lot of people feel bad. They resist one cause because they feel bad or guilty. There's nothing to feel bad or guilty about. Before you know about the law, you imagine up shit and you really don't notice, or you don't care. Once you start learning about the law, once you start accepting the truth about you that sets you free, that's when the fun begins, because you can start digging up seeds. See, the only thing you have to change is self. The only thing you have to do is change your imaginal act. Your imaginal act is how you experience what you experience. You don't have to. See, a lot of people make the mistake of trying to imagine up a lot more money in their life. And been there, done that. And you know what? Sometimes it seems to work. But I can tell you what works every time. We've got this cool little thing called the money diamond. And in the money diamond, we explore, there's 4 things that you imagine about money. There's 4 things that everyone imagines about money. Some people imagine, you imagine something about making money. How'd you make it? Some people imagine up. Everyone imagines up. How do you spend it? Some people, everybody, imagines up. How are you with having money? And then there's the 4th part of the diamond, which is, how are you with investing it? How are you being an investor? And this is cool, because a lot of people, these are like spokes to a wheel. And they all need to be pretty much the same size. In other words, let's say big. The bigger the tire, the faster you go. And so the more you explore, what are your imaginings about spending money? making money, spending money, having money, investing money. Once you really explore those, and by the way, we've got this pack. It's a whopping $7. Let's get the crass commercial over with. Right? It's the secret of money and the money diamond. It's $7. You can get it at NevilleGoddardStore.com. We dive deep into this there, but before we continue, truth and fact oppose each other. See, the fact is, well, Mr. 20, we're heading into a recession. All the experts agree. You know what? All the experts are probably right. Right? Recessions come, recessions go. Neville Goddard's brother Victor didn't have time to listen to the news about that. He just said, rightio. Their business prospered. Their business continues to prosper based upon what they imagined about it. But Victor didn't have time for small talk about recessions. Most people have a lot of time for small talk. Because small talk is about facts. I like calling them factoids. It just reveals what they are. They're small little bits. Factoids. Right? How many factoids do you need to collect before you feel depressed? Not many. It's like how much cat shit do you want in your coffee? Meanwhile, I'm a massive fan of yummy coffee. How could you experience one sip of coffee that implies, I make great money. I love how I make money. How could you experience one sip of coffee that implies how you enjoy spending it? See, when I spend money, I tend to spend it on things that nurture me. I just spent $1,000 on a seminar. Oh, man, I got all kind of, well, actually, it's an investment. And meanwhile, in the seminar, they suggest some toys, and I spent some money on toys. In a way, it's also an investment. But you see, spending for me, I bought some good whiskey the other day. Because I deserve it. I enjoy it. I don't chase happiness. I buy what I enjoy. But meanwhile, when it comes to money, how are you with having it? Because a lot of people can't have money. When they have it, they feel they have to spend it, or they feel guilty about having it, or they find a way to screw it up. You get to get okay with having money. How would you experience one sip of coffee being 100% okay with having $1,000 in your purse or pocket? Then there's that whole investor thing. Like I said, I just finished up a $1,000 seminar. During the seminar, I probably spent about $500 on goodies, stuff they suggest, stuff I look at and go, right, if the seminar guy says it's good, I'm getting it. Because he's done the homework for me. See, one of the things we discover is money is speed. Because some people say money loves speed. Some people say money is the theoretical, hypothetical, spiritual equivalent of, and they get all lost in their head. I just noticed this. Money is speed. If I want to buy a bottle of whiskey, I don't have to go get a goat. And then, because if the whiskey guy wants a goat for a bottle of whiskey and I don't have a goat, so what do I got to trade for a goat? See, I love when people go, well, we're going to go back to barter. Barter's called slow. I had a guy one day says, hey, I noticed you've got a $7 ebook. I've got a $7 ebook. How about if we trade? And I say, well, how about if you just sell one of yours? And he tells me, mine isn't selling. And I said, well, mine is. And I'm not being arrogant. I'm not even being confident. I'm just pointing out something. They're buying into the facts. My book hasn't been selling. I'm into the truth. How could you experience one sip of coffee? Go, wow, I had 10 book sales last night. That's cool. Or how would you experience one sip of coffee when you realize it's time for you to write a couple sequels? You know, we've got Neville Goddard Simplified 1, 2, and 3. We had a couple others. I never finished them. I got busy with other projects. But you see, that could be an imaginal act. Imagining up what would imply one sip of coffee, knowing that I got to write yet another book, because people keep wanting more. I found I have a lot more fun making recordings, so put out 2,000 podcasts, maybe 40, 50 different products over the last 20 years, stuff like that. Meanwhile, truth and fact oppose one another. Truth depends upon intensity of your imagination. And here's the key, guys. It's not about having a mind-blowing orgasm or a Kundalini awakening while you're imagining. It's about this. The intensity of your imagining shows up on your Facebook posts. What you're sharing on Facebook, what you talk about, reveals what you actually feel intense about. And it's not emotion. Intensity is about what do you actually feel is real. See, here's what I get. Ready? I know this podcast blesses millions. We're at almost 3 million listens. That's millions of impacts. That matters to me. And it all started out with me getting like 9 listens a day, 4 listens, 7 listens. I remember when we broke 11 listens. Wow, double digits, man. Now we're a couple thousand a day. And this is what's really cool, because whenever you get truth and fact will always oppose each other. And today you're going to make some decisions. And you're going to get to decide, you're going to get to notice, do I make my decisions based on truth or facts? The truth about you sets you free. The facts are always going to tell you you're a slave. The last time we had a recession, some people made a massive difference in the world. Some people struggled. The last time we had a depression, some people made a difference in the world. Some people struggled. I want you to be the difference. I want you to do something different than the masses. I want you to disregard the facts. I want you to buy the truth about you that sets you free. If you got gold today, my big suggestion is going to be Pearl Power Pack. Because when you really explore, and those 3 calls, it's a 3-call recording pack. Those 3 calls that we recorded, they're life-changing. Because they help you explore the one cause. It's not enough to just say, yep, I believe I'm the one cause. When you explore it, you discover why 21,327 emails, 237 emails. Anyway, 21,000 plus emails from people that I've gotten over the past decade or so, longer than that, who didn't notice where they weren't buying the pearl. Because anytime you struggle, anywhere you struggle, there's going to be some area or aspect of your life where you get to buy the pearl. The pearl of great price is selling. Any belief in secondary cause is selling. You've got to sell your belief in any power over you. That includes all the facts. Because it is the truth about you that sets you free. PearlPowerPack.com. That's it, gang. Have a lovely day. My name is Mr. 2020. And you got to remember one thing. Truth or fact, how are you making your decisions today? Truth is Mr. 20 times tough. Radio. See, that's just a fact. Unless you imagine it true. And then it becomes your reality. Have a great day. See ya.